everything we've done up to this point. With me, as always, we have Matt as Victor of the Caldera, the human death cleric. Jess as Dariana Bloodright, the elf-marked Seraphage sorceress. Jason as Cutter the Faceless, the Deracool rogue duelist. Andy as Beatum Dobblebreen, the gnome Knoll divination wizard. And Eric as Sylvester, the Dampier warlock, with his spine devil familiar, Annie. The Dark Kingdoms takes place in the Midgar setting, which is published by Cobalt Press, so you will notice some differences in some of the races, classes, features, and whatnot. If you see anything that's weird to you, just shoot a message in chat and we will explain it to you. Also, please be aware, this is an evil campaign containing evil-aligned characters in a dark fantasy setting, and as such, may not be suitable for some audiences. Graphic descriptions of gore, murder, mutilation, and torture are fairly common. So, hello. How is everybody?
Hello. So good. So good.
So good. Seriously, I already feel like we take a month off between each week. And then when we miss one, I completely forget how to do literally everything.
I
know, more than a week feels like forever.
Yeah. Remember when we used to do bi-weekly games?
Yeah.
That was terrible.
The worst.
And wonderful all at the same time.
Having a life.
No. What? This is life. I don't know what you're talking about. But hello, Gilded Fam. Hello, Mama Guac. Hello, Magic Thistle.
Steph says we have Merkborg CP redemptions right now.
Yes, that's why I said fuck me in the butt before we started.
By the way, this is a mature stream, so
roll for it, Jess.
I'll pass.
Oh God. Give me a second.
Oh, speaking of, happy Pride, everybody! It's Pride Month.
Yes, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
And we're all wearing black.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I wanted to get one of the Pride shirts, but I just don't like them this year. I haven't liked them for like the last 2 years, so I just don't want to.
You are very picky with your shirts.
Me?
Oh, yeah.
No. Thanks, Steph. Good thing you're not a mod in this channel. Okay, here we go. Channel points. No, it's under viewer rewards, channel points, manage rewards. Turn off use power, turn off summon creature, turn off give life. Yes, disable.
And I'll remind you, hopefully, to do
Turn
it
it
for
back
tomorrow
on?
night.
All right. False life. Shield. Bane. Excuse me. Where's bless? Oh, guess no one blesses for you guys. That should be it. Does anyone want to refresh real quick and see if the channel point redemptions are all better now? Oh, I cannot cheer in my own channel.
Eric's there. You go.
Yeah.
Little
Bless, Bane,
little
Shield,
more.
False Light,
Little more?
Blue.
A little more.
That's a ridiculously
That's
handsome
pretty
damn
good.
pair.
That's pretty good. You got a little headroom. That's pretty good.
How's that?
That's
There
pretty
you
good.
go.
Is that good?
Who are we redeeming on? We got the Gilded Fam dropping blesses for Eric. All right, thank you so much, guys. I actually have this up right now.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
because
I
he got to
ran
actually
those
use his
last
blesses
time.
last time.
He did. Anyone could have used them.
Well, you know what I mean.
Totally used it.
Well,
It's what I killed myself with.
I think I know I died well enough without using blesses. So
Well, here's the other thing. I made it a point to say that thing was not attunable, so you could have tossed it around, and other people could have used it.
oh, that's true.
So,
Gotta use them to get them.
Yeah. That's a good looking dampier. The hair, I don't know what's different, but I feel like it sits higher now or something. It just
I
looks
didn't
so
change
natural.
anything.
Yeah,
Maybe Eric's
The
head
dream.
and face, his skull changed a little bit since the last time.
there you go.
I got some new product.
There you go. We're
Got the skull shaping
we're missing
shampoo?
Annie though. We're missing Annie.
Yeah, she's missing. Snapchat did update, so who knows? Maybe there's some tweaks.
I wonder if he's still. I wonder if Eric is not using the I have a green screen and so just letting it cut out and it looks good because it's on a green screen kind of thing?
Yeah, if you don't have a green screen background elements, will get cut.
I have a green screen.
But we'll talk about it. Sursa Victory, not only Sursa, but Janelle, thank you guys so much. They just resub for 8 months. We've been doing this for 8 months, which is crazy. One more month and we'll get the last badge before the year badge.
There we go. I didn't have a click.
Yeah. I got you, fam.
I
Still
normally
looking
do.
good.
That's my bad.
Yeah. Yes, we're all gonna. Our channel's gonna have its Twitch baby. It's gonna be deformed. Anyway,
It'll be ossified. It'll be ossified.
Yeah, ossified. So anyway, do we have any new business we need to discuss before we hop right on into this game?
Well, we're 5 down from 300. 5 away.
Oh, we are in fact 5 away from 300 followers. If we get to, whenever we get to 500 more followers. 5 more followers. Whenever that happens, we will instantly, as fast as I actually go in and set it up, start a merch giveaway for one of our t-shirts. And we will be having more different t-shirt designs at some point.
I know. I need
myself and Jason actually remember to meet at the time when one or the other of us forgets each time. We will have some more t-shirt designs up that people can choose from. Yeah. But we will be doing a merch giveaway in 5 more follows. So anything else that we need to talk about before we stream and not after?
I just gotta say, my lovely wife Stephanie made Arcan the Cruel's halfling chili and hogs in a bedroll from Heroes Feast, which is D&D related, and it was lovely. Chili with cinnamon and cocoa powder in it. It was really good. I posted some pictures up on our Discord. Check out our Discord if you're not there already. Check out our website. Yeah. Ooh. So yeah, check out the Discord, please, and post some pictures of anything that you guys cook from Heroes Feast too. There's a lot of super cool things in there.
Nice. Yeah, I have to tweak most of it, but the cocktails look delicious. We should have some of those.
I can't wait till we can have some like actual like get together nights and have like a Dungeons and dinner thing.
I will sit in a glass box of emotion, and you can all work your way around. So I think it's time to get cracking here, friends. Let's do that.
There's Andy.
So, as we get back into it, you are deep within the catacombs of Anu Akma, beneath the Ilia family crypt. You hear nothing but the bubbling of the embalming acid. And as you look around, you see that all the undead excavators in their canopic jar masks have fallen lifeless to the floor. Sylvester and Victor, as the exalted embalmer you were battling fell and drew her last breath, you felt a pulse from around your neck. And as you look down, you see that your amulet and periapt have gone dull, apparently losing whatever magic fueled them. The lifeless body of the exalted embalmer lies at Sylvester's feet, and the once animated statue of Anu Akma is inert, now on its knees on the temple floor, your body parts still nailed to its chest. What do you want to do?
Who's down? Is anybody still down?
Victor has healed both
I think
Dariana
once,
people.
yeah, right after the combat, we all.
I would like to retcon one thing, if you'll allow it, Ryan. How did you heal? How did Victor heal Nolan?
Pretty sure used cure wounds just to bring back.
And you have to touch?
It's touch, yes.
Yeah, as Victor reaches out to heal Nolan, who's got like 8 life points left, he actually pushes Victor's hand away and does not allow him to heal Nolan.
Nice.
With just a bloody grimace on his face. On his no face.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Well, I'm gonna sit down next to our fallen foe, who I believe I'm right next to already.
Yeah, you're standing over her. Who dealt the death blow? Was it Victor's
Yeah,
Victor's
hammer,
spiritual weapon?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're standing right over her, and you're now kneeling over her? Or?
I'm just gonna kind of kick back on the ground right next to her. I'm kind of tired.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of lean up against one of these ossified statues, missing many of its organs.
Yeah. And I'm actually gonna cast Speak with Dead on her.
Interesting.
So kind of lean over and just breathe into her. My mouth into hers. Black smoke comes out, goes into her nose and her mouth.
Can you display that in VTT?
Sure.
And do you have the slots left for that?
That's one of my Warlock at will powers. So yes, because it does not use a slot. It's one of my invocations.
The spell ends. You can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the language it knew. Answers are brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to talk the truth at land, feel like you're hostile to it, or it recognizes you as an enemy. The spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body, only enemy and spirit. This corpse can't find information. Okay, yeah. So as you kind of lean over and breathe this dark smoke into this, you see its spirit kind of reanimate, as you've seen before when casting this spell. What would you like to ask?
Well, not really asking. I'm just going to start talking to her.
Okay.
And sorry about that. Really, I just came to talk to you. Personally, I'm all for your whole vibe you've got going here and what you're all about. I had no problem with what you were doing. But some gravebinder, Faria, I believe, had something I needed. Asked us to take care of this, and she'd give me what I needed. I came down to talk, but you started going on about sorrow or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. So, here we are. You're dead. Nobody to blame but yourself. If you would have just listened, we could have made a deal. All I was going to ask you was to lay low for a little bit so I could convince her that we did what we were supposed to and I could get the book. So, during our fight, I felt like we had a little connection there at some point. So I'm going to offer you an option. I'm going to chop off your head. And either I can take it with me and we can chat every once in a while, or not. If you say no, then my hooded friend over yonder will probably cut your face off and either wear it or eat it. Maybe both. And then my other friend, the big one over there, is probably gonna put you in some little altar thing. I don't know what he does. But the choice is yours. You want to come with me or not?
The spirit of this woman kind of rises up, sitting up, looks towards you, and just says, "My soul is with Anu Akma, and sorrow will still find you."
Oh, sorrow has. That's nothing new. You still haven't answered the question.
She just lays back down.
Okay. I start cutting her head off. Oh, but I have another question. Is there another way out of here other than through?
Oh, wait.
Well, she
I like
still
that.
has the
Okay,
mouth.
I start cutting her head off.
She still has the mouth on there, right? All it needs is a mouth. Is there
That's a
another
great
way out of
Sylvester
here?
quote.
All it needs is a mouth. Ooh.
Theo.
If you can find it.
Ah, so mysterious. And then I go back to cutting.
Yeah. And once you kind of cut through the entire neck, the spell just kind of dissipates
Yeah,
off of her.
I was letting it go anyways.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to come and be my friend. That's her problem.
I mean, you killed her. You kind of killed her.
Yeah.
Dariana. What are you doing?
I guess I'm kind of dusting myself off and trying to figure out what happened. Maybe checking on Brian in the bag, making sure he's okay.
Yeah. When you open the bag, kind of reach in, thinking about Brian, your hand just kind of dips into this kind of warm jello, and you're like, okay, he's still there. He's good. You yourself, I believe, were healed pretty far by Victor, if I remember correctly. Or was it just barely?
Just a little bit.
Gotcha.
She got 22.
Gotcha. Did you cast heal on yourself?
I had to survive that battle.
Right. So, you, though, Dariana, you had a brief glimpse of death. And you also had a vision of what your companions would say about you should you, in fact, be the one to perish. And that is what's kind of weighing a bit on your mind, or at least it's present there. However you feel about it is up to Dariana, but it is a recent memory that is definitely still in your recall.
Okay.
Nolam, after you slap away Victor's helping hand, what are you doing?
Nolam places a hand on Victor's shoulder and says, "I need the help," and then proceeds to begin emptying his pockets. He points to the shield that has Beatum's body in it, expectantly for Victor to hand it to him.
Victor bends down one knee and picks up little body, holds to Nolan.
Nolan takes the body and puts it on the ground and starts putting stuff around the body. First, cards. Then he takes there's a parapet of wound healing off of Nolan's neck and puts it onto Beatum's neck. And then takes all of his magic items and everything and sets them around Beatum, and then pulls out one last thing: a jar made from the uncut gems from the demon that we chased in our very first adventure. It has a emptiness to it, and he holds it out to Victor. Then he trudges over to the embalming acid, tosses all of his armor, his shield, his spear, and turns to Victor and hands him the jar and says, "Then the jar lights plus my skull." And he kneels down, and Beatum's body leaves the body of the soul, or the body of the knoll, because I can go back to the jar, and in a moment, Nolam's eyes change, and suddenly a wild Knoll warrior is standing before you.
So Victor is trying to sense. I mean, he can see Nolam's eyes have changed. Does he sense that Nolam is now poses a threat to Beatum? Or
roll me an insight check.
And this is this happening like simultaneously, like while I'm having my conversation with the dead?
Everyone's kind of doing their own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The bless. Becca. There we go. And is the.
So you couldn't quite make out what Nolan was saying after he had chopped off his own tongue.
Oh, there
you
we
just
go.
heard him.
Ooh.
Oh, you rolled the bless first. I see.
Yeah,
what's
it's a
happening.
2 and an 18.
I see what's happening. Matt,
a dirty
bless.
21.
Down to single digits. So you were able to actually make out exactly what Nolan had said, and from what I got, basically, when my eyes change, crush my skull is what you heard. And as you're watching, you see this change come over his eyes, and you see even the way that the creature was carrying itself, its mannerisms, everything, instantly go more animalistic. The eyes change, a snarl appears on its face. It looks at you with fear and anger and then rage, and you just see this ferocity take over. You also see an absence of understanding of who you are in this creature's eyes now. And as it lunges for you, what are you gonna do?
I attempt to crush skull with mace of destruction. Yes.
All right, swing away.
Its
What?
AC has lowered down to 12.
Ooh. There we go.
Yeah, so as it lunges, you don't just almost in just reaction. It's a reflex. Your mace still kind of hanging loose at your side. You just swing it up at this creature. And as it lunges in towards you, kind of going for a bite, and you crush its skull up into itself and actually lift it up so it slams back on the ground behind you, half on the platform, half hanging over the embalming acid. And as its head lolls back, the whole body just kind of slips back and like into the embalming acid, and it just sizzles as it disappears beneath the surface.
Cool.
Bye, Nolam. The jar you hold in your hand is alight with the presence of a
Beatum's
soul
soul.
inside of it.
But you're in the shield, like you're a husk of a shell.
And I can attempt to inhabit my own body again. Yay!
What's the check for that?
It doesn't say anything about it. I'm assuming that because it's my body, I can just choose to lose it.
Gotcha. So I'm not gonna bait your check to decide whether you
Please
live or
don't.
die.
Yeah, because I would die just like that.
Insta death.
So I can go back into the jar and inhabit other people's bodies, but if the vessel that I have dies, then I have to make a charisma check versus my spell casting DC, or else I just instantly die. So,
Gotcha. So if Nolan went down in combat and stayed down,
like actually died, yeah,
you would have had to roll to see if you also died with him.
Uh-huh.
The cons of warging, people. So, are you going to? Is the jar, loses its light as the light turns to beat him, or?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Beat him sits up and goes. And he's also missing his tongue.
Beat him looks like he got a little tan in the Southlands.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
And
so
Victor sets the jar down kind of next to him, and he's a little bit in disbelief, like what he's just seen. How are you, my friend? Where did you find that disgusting creature?
I smell like shit. I found it in the desert in the fire. This hurts. And he stops talking.
I am very sorry to laugh, Peter. Perhaps tomorrow when we wake up, I help you with this. We bring tongue back, yes?
Sounds great.
And Cutter.
I don't think
all these things.
I was healed, right? I'm still got to roll death saves.
No. You're...
Oh, you healed me.
What we said at the end of the thing was Ryan kind of just said you can go around and like put.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess
HP
Victor would have.
No, I do have to use up one more spell slot.
Oh no! Well, you didn't use the one against Beatum.
Oh, true.
Knocked your hand away. Yeah. So how much did you heal last time, Nolan?
How much did I heal last time? I believe it was 8. I think it was something low, like 14 or 15.
The last heal was a cure wounds for 22.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll just say you get 20 points back, Cutter.
Okay.
So you are alive, kind of leaning against the wall in a pile of bones on this temple floor. When you open your eyes, you look across and you see this kind of inert statue of Anuakma all stitched up, almost seemingly looking at you, but frozen in as a statue on its knees. And to your left is Sylvester kind of sawing the head off this woman.
All right.
What are you doing?
So dying made me hungry. So I'm getting up, heading over to Sylvester, and presumably she's on her back, right? And I'm just going to start gutting her, sampling different tissues until I'm satiated.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. As you cut into this and start eating, you find that the organs are all they taste terrible to you.
God damn it.
And they all seem partially ossified.
To a ghoul.
Damn.
Yeah, and it turns you into a ghoul. Yeah.
That turns me into a ghoul. Ghoul.
Yes. No, it specifically tastes bad to you.
Okay.
And as I said, the organs all seem as if they almost have this like rind of ossification to them. And it tastes like old, if you imagine stale bone, like if as someone who eats flesh and gnaws on bone regularly and all that stuff, I'm sure you've had it where the bone is just a little old, it's a little brittle, it's a little dusty.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything inside kind of has that kind of like old musty bone taste to it, and you don't get that nice like gush of juices in your mouth from like a nice liver or something. You don't get the
Right.
crunch of a nice gallstone, you know? Um,
All right. These servants, these cloaked figures,
hmm.
are they? I don't think I ever got a good look at them. Are they lying dead where they are? The tokens are. Are
They just fell when
Okay.
she fell. And if you go up to them, you find they're relatively small. They're 5 feet-ish. Their bodies look long decayed.
Okay.
And on their heads, I couldn't find a good enough token for this, but they actually just have canopic jars turned over on their heads with a face painted on the front of it. And if you
Okay.
pull back the canopic jars from one of them, you see that the majority of the head is actually long decayed and gone. It appears that
Okay.
whatever magic was sustaining them to cause them to cut these organs out and toss them in the statue was simply sustained by this woman that is now cut open and has her head chopped off and is relatively well mutilated.
All right.
But you will also find no sustenance with them.
What about in the dead knoll? What about a Nolam?
Nolam slipped into the acid. If you'd like to,
Uh,
well, actually, when you get up and start looking around, you don't see Nolam anywhere.
Okay.
You see a bloody mace hanging at the side of Victor, and you actually see Beatum sitting up in the shield, and you see Nolam nowhere.
Okay. I want to go inspect this this statue, this
The idol.
golem thing, the idol. Yeah.
Yeah, it is clearly a 3 metric dude tall ossified stone idol to the god Anu Akma. So it appears to you as this kind of like naked jackal-headed man. Once again, now it looks like there are these big seams that have been sealed across its chest and stomach and parts of its body where you saw the organs being thrown into it.
I'm gonna try to get in there.
But yeah, so you can't get in now. If what you're looking for is organ and stuff, you do notice that whatever was causing the insides of the other statues that have been carved open to still be fresh organs has also dissipated. And when you look inside, it's basically just like a decayed, rotted like gel at the bottom of the other statues. But as you go to the statue of Anu Akma, it's now on its knees kind of looking at you. And just over head height is its collarbone area. And you see the 5 body parts still nailed to its chest, still fresh as the day you cut them off, which I think was today. Just nailed to its chest, almost like a necklace. And thank you so much, Tomato, for an Eric bless.
Yes, thank you, Tomato.
Tomato Namato. As you look at the statue and you see those pieces up there, you're missing a lot of bits and pieces.
Yes.
But the piece that you actually put into the jar, was that your ear?
Yes.
You still feel this dull ache, this sense of kind of pain and loss, like where that ear should be. This almost like these phantom pain still there.
So how are
Each of
these?
you-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, each of you still feels that. The ones missing a tongue feels this aching pain where your tongue should be. The fingers, the toes. Not the ones, all the ones you cut off, but specifically the ones that you used in the jars. You still have this kind of, this aching pain that hasn't gone away, that seems to drag at you.
And how are these organs on this statue? Are they just
They seem to
wearing
be
a-
like nailed onto it with these long, somewhat rusty iron nails.
I want to try to get my ear off.
Yeah. If you reach up, do you want to try to Do you want to just rip it down, or do you want to gingerly kind of take it off as best you can?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to take it off the best I can.
Just roll me a dexterity check.
Okay. I'm gonna bless it. Oh man,
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's better than the day I lost it.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So it had been actually punctured through like the top here. And when you pull it off, you're able to pull it off in such a way it doesn't stick, it doesn't tear. You're tall enough, you can kind of reach up and get to it, and you slide it off gingerly. And when it comes off, that hole almost kind of flaps closed. Not as if it was punched out, but just separated. And you have the ear, almost as good as when you cut it off.
So I can see him doing this from where I'm at.
Yeah, as you all look over, you see him kind of like pulling himself up on the statue and pulling off, and you all see and remember that
If you
there
see a
appear to be 5
pinky,
body parts.
holler out.
You're yelling that? Okay.
Yeah, if you see a pinky, I
Seven.
It does seem this is your specialty, yes. Pilfering with fingers.
Or
Very
a
dexterous.
I can't speak, so but I just nod. I'm gonna try to place my ear where my missing ear, where it used to be, and see if anything happens.
But yeah, as you just kind of like mush your ear up into the space an ear once was.
Nothing happens. It's just okay. All right, I'm
Just
going
smacking
to
yourself in the head
attempt
with your own ear.
to take down the rest of the the body parts and try desperately to not eat them because I'm famished.
Okay. As you roll me a dexterity check to just grab all of them.
Okay, I'll bless it too, just because.
18, yeah. You actually kind of step up on it a little farther, kind of step up on one of the legs, and are able to kind of gingerly pull them off as well as you can. Some of them are hammered through, big pieces of whatever, but you're able to actually remove all of them from the statue. And are you all going to kind of gather around in the temple?
Yes.
All right. So you gone. Let's just get rid of that.
Hey, just off topic, I'm noticing the D&D Beyond characters are Theros in the overlay on Twitch.
More of what I said previously.
Sorry, that's what you said already?
No.
That's
About
weird.
the butts and stuff.
Oh, about the butt
Um,
stuff. Got it.
Roll for butt stuff.
Give me half a second. Slightly more than half a second. I just need to go to extensions. My extensions. D&D.
Oh, America.
Oh man,
Brutal.
Damn.
that's brutal butt stuff, Emerson.
it's crit fail on the butt
Campaigns,
stuff.
Selection, Dark
Oh
Kingdoms.
my gosh.
Save configuration. Boom. Should be good to go.
Well, there is only one Emerson.
All right. All better now.
And
So-
he's like, I gotta go.
All right. So yeah, and as you all kind of gather around, who are we missing? There's no beat 'em token on yours.
Yeah, I need a beat 'em token on there.
Let's were you here?
Very much missed your face, my friend.
Where's the beat 'em token?
Your little mushroom hat.
Also, once I got the head
Oh,
off,
mere son.
Victor.
Still not a beat 'em token?
Did you
When
say you
did
give
you
me the
become
skull,
numb?
Eric?
Yeah, once I cut her head off, I'll give the head to you.
Yeah, way back, Ryan. So, been a while.
I think maybe you're off to the side over here with like a bright. There you're. All right, and let's come back here. I think we also need to update some cards, some tokens, and stuff like that.
I also use 2 blesses.
Yeah, I marked those off.
You got those? Okay.
Yeah.
We still got people with inspiration. Jess, did I use your card against you?
I don't know. I don't know what my card is. I can't remember.
I don't know what your card is either. Minus 1d6. No, I don't think I used that against you.
I don't think.
I did use Eric's, or did I? No, you didn't use yours yet to choose.
I
your
did. I did
initiative.
not use my blue, but you use your red. My blue is just to
Yeah.
pick my spot and.
Gotcha.
I think
I don't
Cutter,
remember.
I think
I
Cutter
don't
and
remember what the
Victor-
orange is.
I have
So the
inspiration.
orange is my disadvantage on Dex on
Gotcha.
stealth checks.
So we're good. So we should have one red card on the board.
I
so
think
let
you
me
had purple
fix-
dots on me and Cutter for the missing skin.
Yeah. Okay, one red card on the board, one blue card on the board. No, this says Jason with a blue. So we need to make Eric have a blue. Oh, Eric does. And then we just need to take Jason's blue away. Yeah. Okay. Everything looks good across the board too. All right. So looks like everything's back to normal. So as you all gather around, Cutter, do you pass out all of these body parts to everybody?
Yeah. I'll hand
Yeah.
them out. Like trick or treat candy.
And Victor offers you the facial skin.
I'm just like, here you go. Sorry, what'd you say?
Victor offers you the facial skin of the embalmer, maybe as like if you want to wear it, perhaps before you take the
Oh,
spell out.
okay.
Since it's
I guess I'll take a
ossified,
look
maybe.
at it and see what the well, it's ossified.
Because it doesn't taste good, but maybe it would last longer.
Well, did you cut the face off or did you offer for him to cut the face off?
I was gonna provide, like, from what I understand, Sylvester cut the whole head off,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm kind of giving Cutter a chance, like if he wants to remove the skin before I utilize the skull.
Gotcha. Yeah. So he's just handing you her skull, basically.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, but before, as you're kind of holding that, before you pass that off to Cutter, you have your hands full with a bunch of body parts.
Oh.
You pass those out to the party, and as you do, as each of you are again holding on to the piece that you cut off, it begins to rapidly decay in your hands. Not just crumble to dust, but actually just whatever was keeping it fresh disappears. Not only disappears, accelerates in the opposite direction. So it literally begins to decay, rot in your hands. The flesh, if there is any, disappears. The bone begins to crumble until there's nothing left in your hands. But as the last bit of dust kind of wafts out of your grasp, you feel that pain, that weight on that missing body part disappear. And you no longer have disadvantage on the associated checks.
But if our eyeball was missing, it's still a giant eye socket.
It's still missing,
Yeah.
but let's just say that you are now also able to regenerate it.
Oh, cool. Perhaps tomorrow when Chernobyl provides spell slots.
So, and then after that happens, Victor kind of remembers, oh yeah, I'm holding a head. And it kind of hands the head to you, Cutter, the implication of you cutting off its face.
Okay.
Can you roll me a face cutting off check?
Yes.
May I help with my medical skills?
He has a
Oh,
face
bless it.
cutting off kit and everything.
That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just dexterity.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Ooh. So it's dexterity. Is
Yeah, I
that
don't have it in my
include your
D&D
proficiency?
Beyond. Yeah, I only rolled a 3, and I have a +5.
Yeah, it's dex plus proficiency because you're proficient in the tools, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. So you roll an 8. So you're hungry, you're beat to shit, you're missing fingers, you're missing toes, you're missing all sorts of stuff. And you kind of, and knowing already that this lady was ossified, you couldn't even eat her, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
You just kind of like haphazardly just like, yeah, let me see if I got this. And then you get a face, but it's jagged on the edges. It's definitely not the best one you've ever done.
All right, I'll just toss it aside.
And now you just have this faceless skull.
All right, I'll just drop that too.
Oh, Victor, did you want?
So if Victor has already received and watched his eye rot away, he's gonna take the skull. I'm assuming, is that an altar that I'm looking at? Is that thing?
Here?
Right, yeah.
This is the plinth that the statue was standing on.
Came off of, huh?
Yeah.
And
So it's like
Victor,
a thin, like plinth, kind of like ornate on the sides, flat on the top.
Yeah.
Cracked.
So I'm pretty sure, didn't Dariana find
Guard.
the other like kind of secret door at the edge of the statue? Dariana, does this plinth look similar to secret door we found top of crypt?
I genuinely don't remember.
So what you found at the top of the crypt was that one of the statue, the legs, it was sitting on a chair, and one of the back chair legs actually was basically like a lever.
Gotcha.
This is just a flat plinth on the ground. You can investigate it if you'd like.
I'm not very good at investigation. Perhaps someone else want to look. But Dariana, do you recognize symbols? I look on floor over where Annie's body lays. It looks like many different arcane signals, but I do not understand those.
Not sure. Haven't really had an opportunity to check them out. But if I go over and check them
I'm
out,
pretty sure we can still walk on the water too, because it lasts for hours. I forget how long.
Yeah, you totally can. I'm just gonna move you out of the wall. But yeah, as you go over, you do see a number of just various arcane sigils. A lot of them seem vaguely familiar to you, but seem to have kind of like a more hieroglyphic elements kind of tied into them. They seem to have a different origin of creation, even though they have a similar kind of form and structure. You've seen this language kind of throughout the catacombs, and I think it's been identified as a variation of Nurian. And you get the sense that a lot of these symbols maybe somewhat universal, like I said, in their form and function, but have slightly different application or different, not that they have a different application, but the application of the symbol is slightly different, has a little bit more of a Nurian bent to it. But looking over it, nothing strikes you as, this is for that. It just seems like some arcane symbols and hieroglyphs.
Sylvester, I see you've come over. Do you have any ideas for this?
So I kind of wasn't paying attention to you. I'm trying to find. You see me looking through the crows, the dead crows. I'm trying to gather up about 5 that are not totally beat to hell.
Roll me an investigation check. A lot of them got burnt. Many of them were already half decayed.
Right.
You're looking for crow corpses?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just what I do.
Yeah, you find about 3 that you could you could salvage as like the full body, like that have both wings, that have both feet, that have a mostly put together body and a head all together. You find about 3 in that pile of corpses. And again, the more you look at them, the more you realize that these things were definitely undead as they were fighting.
Okay.
Beatum is going to investigate this plinth or this stand right here.
Plinth.
Sure. Yeah, roll me an investigation.
Sure.
$26.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's good at this.
As you kind of, I mean, you're very close to it as well, much closer than other people. You see that the very first thing you notice is it's very charred. Aside from 2 kind of footprints where it seems like something was previously standing there as fire raged over top of it. It also appears cracked. Either the fire cracked it or the force of the statue kind of raging on top of it and stepping off, something cracked it right down the middle. And as you're brushing it away, some of it crumbles beneath your hands, and you see that beneath an area of the plinth is a space.
Beatum starts to cast prestidigitation and realizes he doesn't have a tongue. Victor, come help me.
Yes, Beatum. What do you need, my friend?
He points at the crack.
Oh, would you like me to clean this out for you?
I'll open it.
Okay, and then I guess if he can, Ryan, he's gonna kind of wedge his big like gloved hands in there and kind of pry it open. Beat him.
You're definitely are unable to do this on your own. It is a
it's
solid stone about this big and about 10 feet wide.
Okay.
The crack goes pretty far down. But what Beatum noticed is it should go to about here, and it goes to about here before it kind of opens up, kind of looking into it. It's going to take more than 1 or 2 of you to kind of pry this back.
So it's more than a standard crack's worth, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, it is significantly more than a crack's worth. Yeah. There seems to be something above and beyond the...
It's too bad we do not have a giant muscular knoll to help us move this. Cutter, would you like to help me?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like this is
back into a knoll.
I don't feel like this is doable. I'm just gonna
probably not.
No.
communicate to him in the best way I can without a tongue. I want to. I guess Beatum investigated it very well. So.
Yeah, I want Beatum and Cutter to have a chat.
Yeah, I wish I spoke thieves' cant so we could just like use hand signals, but I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to go over there, yeah, you guys can roll. One of you can roll me strength while the other helps.
Okay, I'll help.
I'll go ahead and do that, and let's.
I don't feel confident though, based on the description. This is a big ass piece of stone.
It's huge. Should we ask everybody? Just kind of chip in, like team effort. Sylvester.
Yeah, even Beatum helps.
Sylvester's coming with his big.
And I'll go ahead. I'll give a little muscular blessing. There we go.
Does Dariana also assist? Okay.
Is this with advantage, Ryan?
Yeah. So roll a d20 with advantage, and a bless, with all of you helping.
There we go. So a 21, 25 dirty.
Yeah, absolutely. You get advantage from people helping, and as each additional person helped, you reduce the DC. And you are actually able to, with all of your combined strength. Some of you with missing pinkies as you're pulling. Some of you unable to communicate with still missing tongues. Some of your tiny little toes just kind of hurting
pretty.
the effort. You're able to still drag open this plinth area far enough, expanding this crack. And what you find below is a hole in the ground that appears to lead into some type of tunnel. Hey, what's up, Savaris?
What's going on?
Sylvester, you are one of the few people who appears to be able to talk. Is there anything else we should find here, do you think?
Well, do we want to take a quick, short rest, relax for a few before we go through here?
Definitely could not hurt.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking or feeling too hot.
Yeah, I think a short rest here would, before we go into the unknown, might.
Or long.
Or long. Pool, pond.
If we are able to take a long rest, I can help one person regenerate missing parts.
One of those two.
Probably be.
I know Cutter does not care, so.
So, beat him. A caster with a tongue is helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's better. Let us be rest.
So, using a survival skill, could we kind of put together like a little plan to be able to get a long rest? Does an acid-filled cavern seem like a place you could get a long rest?
As you look around, aside from this tunnel beneath this plinth, and aside from what appears to be a tunnel that leads back up into the catacombs, far across the embalming acid, there seems to be nothing else in here with you.
Nice.
And no other way for anything to get in. Now that the statue is inert and this enemy is decapitated, gutted, laying on the ground over there, slowly ossifying in front of you, you don't sense a whole lot of threat to you.
I very much like this idea, Sylvester. If you don't mind, I will take a skull, say a small prayer before we rest.
By all means, say your prayers.
Say your prayer.
And then Victor is going to he's kind of curious about that weird arcane sigils and stuff, so he's going to kind of come around and he's going to put the skull kind of right there in the middle.
And I'm going to hit, well, if we're going to take a rest, who's going to take, I'll take first watch because I'm fairly healthy.
That's the toe.
Pinky. I'm missing a pinky.
I'm always watching.
How will
so.
you drink tea?
It's tough. My other hand, because I still have that pinky.
That's how gnomes drink tea.
Oh well.
We don't want to see how gnomes drink tea.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Oh no.
Sorry about that.
Pinky
I
toes
apologize.
up.
But before I take watch, I'm going to beat him up for, do you still have that brass brazier?
Oh. And he pulls out that little junky ass brazier.
Cool. So during my watch, two things I want to do. I want to kick all these canopic headed things into the acid pools.
Okay.
Just
easy enough.
Just for fun. And I want to try and bring Annie back. Do my find familiar.
Yeah, how long does that take?
I think it takes an hour.
Yeah, so you're not watching very well. But the rest of you are
Excellent.
Yeah.
Getting our throats slit in our sleep by undead horrors that animate from the bones around us.
Yeah, it takes 1 hour casting time.
And anyone that continues to glance over at the Exalted Embalmer, you see that she is, the longer and longer she lays there, her parts are just continuing to slowly ossify, looking more and more like the statue of Anu Akma as she kind of turns into kind of a bone-colored statue.
Is the skull turning into like a stone type material?
It's so she is ossifying, which is turning into bone, and the skull is already bone.
Is already bone. Okay, gotcha.
So it's just getting bonier, I guess.
Bonier.
Boned up. Yeah.
And her guts
does
are
anyone
like
watch-
split all over the place too. Are they like turning into bones? So it's like this
They're
really
turning
weird
into
scene
bone.
of
It's
just, like,
turning into this really
solidified
really
guts all over the place. Crazy.
Yeah, it's turning into this kind of this. I wish I remembered the name of the lady holding Jesus. But it's like a it's not the Pieta, is it? Is that what I'm looking for? But yeah, it's all kind of turning into this one color too. So as you look at it, it's this very weird kind of statue, something that you doubt anyone would ever carve, of this decapitated woman flayed open with her guts all spilled out, all ossifying into this one color, this one kind of, slightly off-white, marble-ish statue off to the side. Is the first watch just Sylvester? Everyone else is sleeping?
Well, I'm doing my ghoul watch. I'm always
Right.
Yeah.
You're always watching.
I'm always watching.
Beat him will do a watch as well.
Okay. So as you guys work through the night, if there's things you want to do, yes. Sylvester, as you're kicking corpses into the acid, you get a satisfying sizzle with each one, and then you pull out that janky ass brazier. You take an hour and you re-summon Annie. Do you still have enough incense and all that stuff to do that again?
I don't know.
So Beatum bought quite a bit of it before we left. For what was the city that the like big populated city? Why am I forgetting the name of it? Zobek, yes. So before we left for Zobek, it was like provision, everything, and I was like, I'm taking all this shit. So I've got enough incense. So I gave you one set, so I have two more, enough to summon two more.
So
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure she died once before.
Yes, and I
You
gave you
used the set you gave me
incense.
originally, so I
Yes.
would have to get another one from you. Just to
You better get to role playing asking me, because I'm getting kind of sick of giving you shit, Sylvester.
I will buy you some more. You know I'm good for it. When
And
have I-
that's what you're good for that, Sylvester.
exactly my point. That's what I'm saying. So just give me the incense. When we get back to town, I'll buy you more incense.
He pulls a couple blocks
maybe-
of incense. and
Maybe
gets it
we
to
can
him.
find some requiem while we're looking.
I said you speak my language.
All right. So you pass that off. You're able to resummon Annie. She's back. Is there anything that anyone else wants to do during their watch, or would you let this unknown time to you, pass by?
Has it gotten to be a new day yet?
After this
dawn.
rest, you could say that the dawn has dawned. Yes.
All right.
Here, I just got to be off camera for a sec.
Beatum will pull his cards out and do a portent for today. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. That would have been great if it was a 1 and a 20.
We're all clicking on long rest. It's fine.
Yeah, you guys can all have your long rest. Then the time period in which you rest goes by. You're unaware of what time it is outside. Beatum, you just know that at some point the dawn did come, and you were able to once again have brief glimpses into the future. All of you, because in D&D it doesn't matter if you're chopped in half. You're perfectly fine now. except none of your parts have regenerated, clearly, because you're not lizards. And but you seem rested. You seem relatively well healed up. You bandage your wounds. You do the things that you need to do. Your magic returns to you in the form of full spell slots, and you seem once again prepared to face the unknown.
As so Victor kind of wakes up and he kind of can feel that even though like he's disappointed Chernobog a few times, like yesterday ended on a pretty high note, he's feeling kind of hates the power, and so he's sleeping kind of near Beatum, just kind of look over him, and then he motions Beatum kind of to come closer, and he takes about a minute, and then he kind of reaches out to see if Beatum's going to slap at him again.
Beatum does, but he misjudges the distance because his arms are smaller, and then he's like,
that's awesome.
That is one.
And so Victor has this like kind of little prayer box, kind of got some Karib writing on it that has a picture of his parents in it. And he opens up the box and he pulls out a little prayer wheel and a little bit of water, and kind of sprinkles it on Beatum, and then kind of rolls the wheel over in his hands. He's got his glove off, and then he kind of waves his hand across and then touches Beatum, because there's a lot of missing parts, right?
No, just the tongue for Beatum.
Literally just the tongue.
Knoll. Yeah, the knoll was missing a bunch of other things.
So it's gonna sound kind of weird, but he's gonna reach out, and then he doesn't say any words, but he kind of raises his eyebrow, like this is the point where you hold your tongue out, kind of thing, like at the dentist, where they wrap the tongue with the.
Beatum doesn't get it. You're just gonna have to.
Okay, and then he, with his other hand, with his strength, he kind of opens it up like he's that kind of burly new dental assistant, and then reaches in there, and he holds it for like an uncomfortable amount of time, like for 2 minutes.
Ooh.
And then you can feel like a dark energy kind of coming through you, Beatum. And the severed part of you, like the tongue, I'm gonna guess, Ryan, that it kind of perhaps feels a little warm as he casts a spell. I'll cast on VTT.
This is horrifying, by the way. Like
being like orally assaulted right now.
Yeah, but we go way back. I don't know how to throw this up in the VTT though. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. There.
Does that make it date rape?
Let's.
So the target's severed body members, I'm assuming tongue counts, is restored after 2 minutes. It's not instantaneous. Right? Well, because it's not instantaneous because the tongue disappeared yesterday. So it regenerates.
Gotcha. So I assume you cast Regenerate. So as you force this little gnome's mouth open, reach in and grab the stump of a tongue, over the next 2 minutes, it slowly regenerates out in your fingers. And by the time he pulls his grimy, disgusting fingers out of your little gnome mouth, you once again taste. And you taste the sweat and grime and blood and muck left in your mouth by his hands. But then you realize that you taste it. And you have a tongue again.
There's still dried blood in my mouth.
And then he pulls out one of those skins that I have. I'm assuming we probably got some wine in our wine skins while we were at the four-humped camel or whatever. And so I just kind of hold the wine skin out to you.
Oh, he definitely drinks it. How do gnolls say anything? This tongue is so much more dexterous. I'll have to think of some words to say. Thank you, Victor. Feels good to speak with my own mouth again.
It was not fun watching you not be able to do what you do, but I know Qatar has been dying to talk to you.
You jest. Funny as always, Victor.
It's ready. Should we wake up others?
Has the time passed? Are we ready to get up now?
Sure, yeah. The time has passed. You have a tongue returned to you. You wake up and realize that Annie has been resummoned with your borrowed incense. You're all refreshed as you can be, some of you with bits returned to you, and you still have this tunnel beneath the plinth that once held the idol of Anu Akma. What are you doing?
Just get the fuck out of this place. Ooh, better watch my language. It's been a while since we've seen Baby Beetle.
Baby Beetle time.
Yay.
Say hi. Hey, Ian.
Speaks.
Yeah, buddy.
He
Oh,
He
man.
does speak. Say hi. Hello.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
You're
I
so
like this.
Hey, Ian, what does a donkey say? Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah.
I will need to take a
Yes,
step away
the
just for a
baby,
moment.
the appearance of Baby Beatum is our signal to take a break. So everyone, we will be back in just a couple of minutes. Stick around to see what we do next.
Oh, man.
Hello and welcome back to the Adventure Archive. Jedi Mama, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for coming in. Alan, man, sorry that
sorry about
Andy
that, buddy.
timed you out.
Whoops. My
I hope
apologies,
you're still
sir.
not timed out. Thank you again, Jedi Mama, for coming over with that raid. I hope you had a wonderful stream. Thank you for being here. Anyone here that's not followed Jedi Mama, please go follow her. She's a wonderful, wonderful person, and the first person to ever raid us. So Jedi Mama raid will always be special to the Adventure Archive. Currently, we are in the midst of kind of wrapping up, escaping from the, we'll call it the boss room of the Catacombs of Anu Atma. The players, after kind of piecing themselves back together, trying to eat bits and pieces of other things, and prying open a plinth, have discovered a tunnel to leave. And after taking a long rest, returning some body parts, resummoning some familiars, and basically gathering themselves up to face what's next, what would you all like to do?
I am going to start making my way to this opening in the floor.
10.
I will follow.
Cutter, before you go down there, and he puts his hand on Cutter's shoulder. And Cutter's been here before. This is where he's gonna put a death ward on Cutter for his 8 hours.
All right. So you feel the familiar. No, Source of Victory. They have not yet taken advantage of the Embalmer's paste.
Oh yeah. We should have done that.
Is that like butt paste?
It is not quite like butt paste.
That is really important stuff. That is super important stuff.
Oh yeah, I use it all the time at work. Multiple different types. Antifungal, moisture protection. So you, as you're walking by, Victor, feel the heavy hand fall on your shoulders, and a familiar feeling of a familiar feeling wash over you, and you feel warded from death. You feel able to stave off death's hand in the future. Once again, you guys do all have the Embalmer's paste, and you have 2 scrolls. That is the thing that you have in your possession. Did I ever give anybody the actual thing for that?
Here's the notes that I had, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that there was a jar of embalming paste. You need 3 scrolls. You have to tear them up. There's a medicine check that's going to be involved. You need to have a long rest. You had given us 2 scrolls, one that was contagion and one that was mass.
Well, you had found 2 scrolls.
Or we'd found them. And
I
then
don't give you.
Beatum has a few other scrolls on him. And so I think once we get out of here, or perhaps the next long rest, we'll figure out what the 3rd scroll would be and figure out how we want to use it on one of the human bodies. The non-undead members of the party.
What other scrolls do we have?
Beatum had some stuff from that we bought when we were in Claire Cyan.
Yeah, so I have false life written down. I have a web, like a scroll of web, and one other one which I'm not finding written. It doesn't have what it is written on it, so it just says that it's a spell scroll.
Interesting. We'll have to roll for a spell scroll. Who currently has the Embalmer's paste?
Not I.
Whoever found it.
I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
So because you rolled crazy high, right?
Yeah, I gathered that up. I was in that room. There it was, but I don't have any attachment to it necessarily. I'm for whatever the group decides.
Okay. That is the Embalmer's paste right there. And then whoever would like to have it, it is now in all of your inventories, so it doesn't really, it's just whoever decides to use it.
Permanent disadvantage on death saving throws. Woo!
Yeah, so I wonder who wrote this. Can we get some Cersei emotes in the chat?
Probably like after doing
Up,
the little
Sursa.
the little tongue, kind of giving a tongue to beat him and being able to finally talk to him again. I think Victor would have chatted with him a little bit about like what he thinks about the pace, because he seemed to recall that Beatum had some former knowledge of embalming for some reason.
Well, once you head down that path, there will not be any heading back, Victor. You must choose if this is what you want to do. You are not dead yet. But you will be on the path. Holy well, then.
I do think, Beatum, that will come in handy to be undead before we finish whatever this quest is we're on, yes?
Did the binders say how they would help us?
Well, they said they'd help us with her book.
We are not even sure if book will work, yes. Sylvester does not seem to trust her.
Well,
Quid pro quo.
she said she had an old family book that may or may not help us.
Yes, I will say this, Beatum. I think that
Let's save
pretty
it.
soon. Yeah, we save for now.
We might want other spells.
All right.
Okay. So,
So I wanna
do you
move-
guys enter the
Yeah.
So as you enter into this tunnel, you kind of drop down into this space. Those with dark vision can see, those without cannot, after a certain amount of space. Would you like to
Beatum will
create-
cast dark vision on Victor.
So the eye that kind of pries
Opens up
open.
on his
Actually,
head.
can you cast it right where the eye that I'm missing is?
No,
No.
not how
Okay.
it works. Not how it works.
Third eye.
Love it. So he's got
We
a third eye.
decalcify your pituitary gland or whatever. Pineal gland. We got to get woke here. This is
I like it.
you can see the lizard overlords now. So as you drop down into this tunnel, you see that it is filled with a number of canopic jars still all around you. It seems like a lot of them are stacked and placed and almost as if this was used as some kind of storage area right at the top of the tunnel. Like the jars are basically just only for like maybe 10 feet before they kind of like peter off. It, like I said, it looks as if someone was bringing jars down and just kind of stacking them and eventually just ran out of jars to store down here.
Did they
And
look
the tunnel
identical?
continues forward.
Did they look identical to the jars that had the faces painted on them?
They look different. Some look older, some look newer. You can tell that it appears that the jars have been placed here over different periods of time. Some are broken, they're all dusty. It's clear that this tunnel has not been opened in quite some time.
Did the ones that are not broken, I'll pick one up. Does it have anything in it?
When you open up one of the jars, you look in and there's this kind of gel in the bottom.
I'll give a sniff.
Okay,
Beatum
it
is going
smells-
to put a jar in his bag.
Okay. Why don't you roll me an investigation check?
Who?
Beatum, or anyone that wants to continue to search through the jars. You, when you give it a sniff, it hits you hard. It's at this point, I think you're beginning to become aware of what canopic jars are used for if you weren't before. Canopic jars are generally used to store organs that have been removed from a corpse before they are interred. And some of these jars appear to contain some spare organs that over time have just basically mushed.
Liquefied.
liquefied and
That's
then
cool.
kind of coagulated.
Well, it looks like both Beatum and I rolled investigation. I got a 20. He got a 22.
Gotcha. So beat them. As you're kind of like, I'll grab one of these jars. You shake one and it sounds different than the others. It actually like has like a shake to it. And you pick it up and look inside, and it is filled with dust, like filled with dust, which seems odd to you. And when you look at this jar, it looks a little different than some of the other ones. You notice now after you've kind of moved some of the jars out of the way, it's a little bit more ornate than some of the other ones. It still has its lid, which appears to be more ornate than some of the others. This one kind of tucked farther back as you reached in and pulled it out. It has this jackal head on it that once you dust it, you realize is quite ornate. And the jar itself has these gold and blue bands around it with skulls actually in rings between the bands.
Ooh. Does that correlate to anything else in the room in terms of that motif of the blue bands with skulls?
As you see this and you find this, kind of pull it out of a pile of broken jars, you look around, kind of move some more out of the way. Some tumble and fall and crash. A little bit of goo kind of pouring out of it. You know, dust falling in places. You don't see another one that looks like this.
I'm gonna hold on to it for perhaps to see if it's useful in other instances.
Yeah. So I will just tell you what this is. You have found this.
Ooh.
That's cool.
When you use an action to sprinkle the dust on a willing humanoid, the target falls into a death-like slumber for 8 hours. While asleep, the target appears dead to all mundane and magical means, but the spells that target the dead, such as speak with dead spells, fail when used upon a target. Cause of death is not evident, though any wounds on the target remain visible. Target takes damage while asleep. It has resistance to damage. Interesting. If the target is reduced to below half its hit points while asleep, it must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw to wake up. If the target is reduced to 5 points or fewer while asleep, it wakes up. If the target is unwilling, it must succeed a DC 11 Constitution saving throw to avoid the effects of the dust. A sleeping creature is considered an unwilling target. Cool.
That's fun. Got to be clever with it.
I'm gonna say this jar is actually relatively full. I want you to roll me a d6.
Roll the d6.
Yes. On Andy.
Roll it.
I'll bane it.
Bless it. Bless it.
I'm damn.
3.
Paying a D6.
Somehow the magic lets you know that you actually have 3 uses of this dust of the dead.
Okay. Excellent.
That's awesome.
Let me just actually edit this quick. There is enough for 3 uses. Save changes. And you have an ornate jar full of dust of the dead. And stretching out in front of you is a tunnel. What are you doing?
I'm carefully moving ahead.
Okay. Yeah. As you make your way forward, the tunnel over time kind of winds and narrows in places and widens in places. And after 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, you're still walking through this tunnel and it's becoming narrower and narrower. And everyone except for Beatum is kind of at this point kind of doing that weird kind of like half crouch, like head down walk through this thing, like bumping the sides as you go through. It's getting a little bit claustrophobic, almost. Beatum's just kind of like, you know, doing whatever. And it takes you a good close to 2 hours as you traverse this tunnel, and you realize after a while there's a slow grade up and a slow curve to it as it goes. And then after about 2 hours, you get to what appears to be an end to this tunnel, kind of leveling up.
Straight up?
No, it's the whole tunnel has now kind of gone like this, and you reach a point where the tunnel kind of hits the roof, and you're all just kind of like on an edge there.
Well, there's got to be a door or something. Who's in front?
Me. I'm just gonna start examining everything closely.
Okay, yeah, roll me an investigation or perception.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you kind of like walk up this grade, and you have to kind of like move into this space, and you're feeling around, and as you do, you kind of feel like a seam right at the edge of the tunnel. You feel this square kind of space above you. And as you kind of give it a little push up, some sand filters down through that seam.
Okay. I'm gonna keep pushing.
Okay. As you do, some light starts to appear around that, and more sand seems to pour in. And eventually, as you push up, you see it rising up, and then realize it's not quite a grate. It's just a piece that had been placed over this opening, and sand had covered the top of it. As you push, it eventually flips over backwards, and there's just this hole towards the midday sky. The sun now beating down on you, and as you pop your head up and look around, you find yourself I think I took the doorway with me. You find yourself on the far side of the necropolis of Seawall.
But
You
outside
pop
the
out.
wall.
Outside the wall, on the far side of the area that you know to be the paupers' graves. This is where people that are not of high enough standing to be buried within the Grand Necropolis itself are buried. Basically, the lowliest of the commoners. And there seems to be this opening, this space, where someone had put a cover over this tunnel, and then sand, covered it with sand. It would be nearly impossible to find this exact spot from the outside, but you see directly behind you the rows of those grave markers.
When we
So I
started
immediately kinda
underground,
pull my hood down, shield my eyes, climb out.
Okay. So you all see this behind him. You see him push this kind of space open, and the sun just now pour down into the space, and then him just kind of pull his hood up and climb out.
Do we need to lead them back to this tunnel? This seems like perhaps a way to gain access to the necropolis.
why would we want to come back here?
We may not want to, but perhaps enemies of Seawall are using this to do terrible things below the necropolis.
And
Then
And
that
I-
makes Sylvester care. Could be valuable.
Do I misunderstand? What was the purpose of us going down there?
Well, to stop what was happening. So we've stopped it. If they come back, then fine by me. We've stopped it. Let's go claim our book. She can go in through the regular tomb and see we've done everything we're supposed to.
We could write down names of graves near this entrance. Let her deal with it. Yes, not our problem.
Yes, keeping this information may be valuable. Perhaps Annie should even wait here.
Did you guys happen to take any token of your victory?
We have the symbols. Didn't the Ankh disappear?
Embalming page.
We left her head, right?
I left her head in the middle of the room. It's like a little cairn now.
Well, we can march her back over
We have the necklaces.
tomb and walk right on through. And the proof will be in the pudding, as they say.
No better proof than going down.
Right. No,
Well,
that's comment.
shall we go meet this binder?
Seems like it will take us quite a while to get over there. But I believe we've accomplished what we came to accomplish. Yes.
I
Then
feel
let's
as
just
such,
go.
yes. So shall we cut through, because they're at the other end, should we cut through the graveyard? Or the necropolis?
Beatum starts walking off, but it's the wrong direction. Whatever the wrong direction is, walking that way.
Back into the sand.
Over this way, right?
Northeast.
The
No,
deeper
no,
in the
no.
sand, definitely the harder it is for you to walk. It's like a toddler on the beach.
Hey, he still treks really, really tough through the sand. Just, ow.
But yeah, if you guys want to make your way back around towards the Hall of the Gravebinders in the front, you can either go around, you can cut through. It's entirely up to you what you would like to do.
I follow anyone who seems to know where they're going.
Gotcha. Don't worry. I mean, you don't need to really worry about your tokens. We'll make our way over there.
As we get towards the beginning, like as I march through, wasn't that the Gravedigger Golemesh's thing around here?
Yeah, he's somewhere over this area, I think.
Oh, I want to stop by
Near
there.
Mourner's Hall.
I
You
thought
gotta
he
go
was
back to.
I thought he's towards
He's-
the entrance.
He's somewhere. Sure, he's like. Let's say he's like over here somewhere.
Okay. So I tell everybody, like, give me one moment. I'm gonna go over to his place, but I'm gonna do my Mask of Many Faces.
Gotcha.
And what's her name? Hara, or the one that sent us here in the first place? Hara Faria?
Afara Hijati.
Hara Ajati.
Afara
Oh,
Hijati.
this
So this
guy,
is
yeah.
Gilgamesh or
Golemesh. Yeah.
Golamesh. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Golem.
No taker. This is who you're going to see. He is the grave digger for the grave binders in the Grand Necropolis of Seawall.
Right. So I want to well, where'd my map go? Okay. Anyways, when I get there, I want to I cast this guy self on myself. Make myself look like the grave binder of Hajadi. And knock on his door.
It's like Farrah Fawcett's, but Farah.
And I've got those, I dropped the 3 crows I have kind of at my feet. And I'm gonna, actually right before I knock on his door, I am casting Dance Macabre.
Okay.
I will throw that in here.
Nice.
Basically, it's an animate dead kind of spell.
Yeah, it looks like it's an animate dead, but you can do a bunch of is it little small or medium corpses? Interesting. And it lasts for an hour.
An hour.
Nice. That's why you're trying to find 5. Okay, so you cast Ansem Gobble on these previously undead crows. Knock on the door, and you just hear from the other side, what?
It is me. Open up. I have something for you.
Who is me?
Oh, it's me, Hajadi. Open the door.
I thought you left town yesterday.
Oh,
No,
snap.
I had to come back. I have some things to handle.
Roll me a deception check.
Gladly.
I'll bait it.
I will bless it. But I don't need to because that's a nat 20. But I said I would, so I got a
Damn, bro.
I think that's a card too, bro.
Sylvester.
So 33.
A 33. Yeah. I mean, you almost get it. You also get a blue card. You do not have one, I don't believe.
Yeah, I do.
So-
I should have freaking used that thing. I have.
Oh, you do, and it's not a good one.
It's not a great one. I knew I should have used it.
Should've
Damn
just
it.
got rid of it. Let's see what you could have got.
Oh no! I don't want to.
Oh,
What a
such a
tease.
good one. Such a good one too.
Whatever.
Nope. Yeah.
You'd love it, Eagle.
All right. So, he's like, oh, okay. And he just opens the door to you, and you see this giant, like 2 metric dude high troll just
How tall?
standing.
How
in the
tall
doorway.
is he?
He's pretty tall. He's a big guy. Yeah.
Like
He's at least a metric dude and a half. Like he fit and just as wide.
He's taller than Brad.
Yes,
Okay.
he is taller than Bri.
All right. So, well, back up. Let me in.
Oh, okay. And he backs up and lets you into this just like sparse Spartan shack. Just has basically like a giant mat on the ground and like a side table and then like a door to another area. And that's about all that's in here.
Is there any other way out?
There's a door that leads somewhere.
Probably to a bedroom. But when I walked up, it's a small place. Were there big windows or anything? He's a big guy. So does it look
No.
like?
No, he fills this space very fully.
Okay.
When you open it, it looks almost like a studio apartment. There's a bed. There seems to be like a mat that he lays on that fills up a solid 2/3 of the space. And there's like a side table that's pretty large and pretty heftily made. Not much else in there.
Okay. So I say to him, I'm like, Golimesh, I'm terribly sorry about this, but you just know too much. And I command the crows to attack him. I shut the door, and I'm gonna drop the force cage in front of the door. So even if he opens the door, he can't get out that way.
Hmm.
And
Gotcha.
I run off.
Okay. All right.
Back to my
So you hear this screaming, this like, "Ah!" And like you hear like a door burst open, and then like another door burst open, and then you just see Golimesh like loping out into the Grand Acropolis from behind his house with these crows just
I did
attacking.
Cool. I figure he's gonna survive this, which is
Yeah, for about 60 feet, I'd say about 40 feet out, he stops and is just like swinging at these crows that continue to attack.
I make
by this
haste
point-
away to get
yeah.
out of his field of vision.
Yeah, by this point, you're gone.
Yeah.
Eventually, he grabs one, crushes it, continues moving further away. But as you kind of hit 60 feet and he's kind of out this way, the crows just drop to the ground.
Cool.
And he now has a weird and severe distrust for Farah Hijati.
Beautiful.
There you go.
And
And you book yourself. You book it back to the group. And what are you all doing now?
I'm just following these guys. I don't know what's going on.
Well, weren't we gonna go?
Do you
to
still
talk
look
to her?
Do you still look
Yeah, I
like
think we
Farah?
are, right?
But she's like out of town.
Well, that was the interesting thing, yeah. So, and I'll say, sorry, I had something to handle, but
Sylvester.
she's out of town.
You said she was out of town. I believe
Yeah.
we should raise her house if she has left
Well,
us
let's
without food.
Go
Yeah.
see. Gulamesh isn't the brightest either.
Ah.
So, yeah, we're going to her house.
Okay, yeah. So you make your way out of the Grand Necropolis seawall, down the thoroughfare towards Farah Jadi's home. And by the time, hey, Ducky, thank you so much for that Bane.
Ooh.
Let me add that real quick.
Ducky.
Back to 8. Got a Bane.
Why did you do that to
Thanks for that.
us?
Merkborg.
Don't worry, I'll get him back tomorrow night.
So yeah.
Yay.
Janelle, you.
Oh, that's good, because I forgot to erase my one I just used, so I'll just leave where I'm at.
There you go. Go for. So as you. Oh, I also forgot. We did add some new stickers to the merch store. If you would like more blesses and banes, you can find those in the store. So you approach her house, and at this point, it appears to be late afternoon, towards not quite dusk, but that like nice. Let's call it the golden hour. You all look wonderful. And you kind of make your way to her front door, and what are you gonna do?
Knock.
Okay. As
You
you
still
do,
look
the
like her,
servant-
Sylvester.
Oh no, I dropped that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
As you knock, it takes a little bit, but a servant opens the door and kind of peeks out and says, "Oh, hello. You've been expected. Please follow me."
We follow.
Okay. And as she opens the door and gestures you in, I had to get my accent down. All right. She takes you into the now familiar seating room that you usually meet Farah Hijadi in. But you don't see Farah Hijadi. You see a cloaked and hooded figure sitting with a large book in her lap. As the servant gestures you to be seated, she begins to pull curtains around the room, which is something different. This hasn't happened before. The whole place is relatively well lit, very airy and things like that. But as she pulls these curtains, the room becomes much darker.
I asked the servant, where is Farah?
Oh, you shall see. And she closes the last curtain and leaves the space. And as she does, the hooded figure with this massive book on her lap, now in this kind of darkened area, reaches up and pulls her hood back. Ooh.
And there's no head there. Just floating horns.
Oh gosh, it's
Let's
Janelle's
Is that
character.
Janelle's little filter we made
It's
for
Selvin.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait
Yeah.
a minute. That didn't have the impact I wanted.
This is so nice.
Green screen. There we go. As good as it's gonna get.
Dreamy, right?
Awesome.
Oh.
The hood comes back, and you see a familiar face to you. You see the face of Selvin that guided you along the Shadow Road.
Did I actually meet someone? Was she there when I popped out? Or
No, she stayed on the Shadow Road. You have no idea who this person is,
Okay.
but your companions around you have this like, oh shit kind of reaction to this person. And she says to you, hello.
Hello, so it's good to see you. Yeah. How are you doing, my dear?
I am doing just fine, and how are each of you? It's been
Sandy.
some time since I left you.
who the hell? What? Oh, who is this?
What name do you want us to tell her you are?
Her, me, him.
You. This is Sylvester.
Yes, it is Sylvester. I'm quite aware of who each of you are.
Well,
I-
good. I
Yes.
haven't had the pleasure.
My name is Selvin. Your party, when they found their way onto the Shadow Road, I was their guide.
Yes,
Ah,
she's
I've heard-
quite lovely company.
No, you've told me all about her. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Where's our host?
Well,
Is there anybody else in the room? Any of the servants? I'm sorry to interrupt.
it is just a dark space with curtains closed in this enclosed kind of seating area now. You can't really see beyond the curtains. You're just in this darkened area. And the closer you look at this person, initially looking like Shadowfae to you, you see appearances similar to Cutter's, actually, and you realize that she is undead. She is actually a Darrakul Shadowfae.
Oh wow, interesting. That's fascinating. All right, but there's no other servants. It's just her in the room that I can tell.
It's just all of you. That's all that you can see, because they basically enclose the space in darkness. And now the reason for the darkness kind of hits you. It's just like, she also does not like light, much like Cutter.
Gotcha.
So after our time together, I reported back to my contacts in the Imperium, and it seems your actions have not gone unnoticed. I passed the plans that you spoke of so freely, of infiltrating the Imperium, finding the Archduke. And it appears that you have a benefactor within the Imperium that would like to see you succeed.
Excellent.
Yes.
When I returned here, I found Lady Hijati looking for you. Last night, there was screaming coming from the entire necropolis. Lasted for some time before it ceased. When
Yes.
the Gravebinders went to investigate, all the undead were dragging themselves back to where they had came from.
Huh.
Lady Hijati assumed you had succeeded in your quest and decided it was better for her not to be here.
Huh.
She left this with me to give to you, and she taps on this massive book on her lap. This, my friends, is Anu Akma's Book of the Hungering Dead. It is her part of the deal, and it is now yours.
Interesting. Did she say why it was better that she not be here?
She felt a brewing conflict that was, in her opinion, better not to arrive at this time.
Cutter, do we work for Imperium or do we work for King Lucan? He is not part of Imperium, is he?
Well, it's more complicated than that.
I do not understand.
Well, as far as we understand it, it's a faction of the Imperium that we're looking to stop. Bookin has a treaty or a deal with the Imperium. And that's how they've done what they've done and spread their lands.
What you know is that 10 years ago, the Imperium and the Vampire Kingdom formed an alliance in order to take over Krakovar. That is how Morgau and Daresh became the Grand Duchy of Morgau and more than doubled their space. The Imperium helped them conquer that. There is an alliance between the Imperium and the vampires, and the quest that you've been sent on is to determine what is trying to disrupt that alliance, because clearly something had been trying to disrupt it. Over the course of your adventures, you have found out that Duke Drago Blackfly, one of the favorites of the Emperor, Nicophorus the Pale, has been scheming and plotting in some way. What Selvin has said to you is that she, and you were not here for this, Eric, so a little bit of meta. The characters found out partway through their journey that Selvin was in fact undead, and not only was she undead, she worked for the Imperium.
I watched the episodes.
Oh, there you go, yeah. So she's basically saying, she reported back, especially after Beadham's loose tongue told everyone that asked exactly what they were doing, and passed on that information to whoever her boss in the Imperium might be, and that boss has sent her back with help. What you have just found, or what has just been given to you, is Anu Akma's Book of the Hungering Dead, and Farah Hijadi has left instructions for its use.
Nice.
And here they are.
Oh, awesome. Want this book.
Okay. Anybody gonna read that out loud?
I can. It is a wondrous item requiring attunement. This aged book is made of yellowed parchment bound between wooden covers stretched with black leather and is debossed with a tarnished silver ink. While attuned to the book, you can spend 10 minutes affecting your companions with the book's magic. When you do so, choose up to 6 friendly and willing creatures, which can include yourself, within 30 feet of you, which can see or hear you. Each targeted creature gains following benefits. You have dark vision up to a range of 60 feet. If you have RDR of dark vision, who cares? You are immune to the stench trait of ghasts and Darrakul. In addition, you have advantage on saving throws against non-magical toxic gases or other odors, such as the toxic gases from an active volcano. You assume a ghoulish countenance. This benefit works like the disguise self spell, except your appearance changes only into that of a Darrakul version of yourself. To discern your disguise, a creature can use its action to inspect your appearance and must succeed on a DC 17 intelligence check. These benefits last for 24 hours or until you speak the book's command word.
That's awesome.
So basically, you have dark vision, you look like ghouls or Darrakul. You look like Darrakul specifically. There's a very big difference. And you are immune to the stench of gas and Darrakul.
That's awesome. So Cutter has a stench coming off of him, huh?
I mean,
I meant to ask about that. Yeah, as soon as I saw that,
Apparently
like,
so.
very cool stench.
Yeah, baby.
I just constantly let out a really long
A little cutter stank.
Yeah.
Cutter stank.
It's a never-ending fart.
Can we get some? Can we get a roll for? Can we get some cutter stank in the chat? Can we get some cutter stank in the chat?
It's like we've been playing with him for 55 sessions, but we learned something new today.
Well, it's like those people that have like lots of pets. They don't know their house stinks.
Yeah.
You know, they get nose deaf to it. I think we've got.
Like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, dang. That
stench.
is a long part, Andy. 20. Yeah.
Well, I'll say it's nice to have somebody willing to help that doesn't want something back. A little enemy, my enemy, do this, we'll do that. Bullshit. Pardon my
That's
language.
what I was worried about, Sylvester's. Since hanging out with you, I learned not to trust anybody. And I wonder if Benefactor could be part of alliance that is scheming, but it seems very clear not.
Well, nothing's ever clear. Always keep your eyes open, but
Things ever
What?
clear, nothing's ever free.
There we go.
What news from the Imperium? How goes preparations for the wedding?
I am unaware of any of that. I traveled with you, I met my contact, and I traveled back. I also brought this with me. Oh, I meant to do a couple of things here. First of all, for those unaware of why I look the way I do, let's move you guys over here.
You look way better than Sullivan.
This
The mustache.
layer, this is Selvin.
There we go. With a t-shirt.
Oh, Amerison bought a baseball t-shirt. I
Yeah,
was like,
Amerison.
why is there a t-shirt on there? Amerison, thank you so much for buying a shirt. We appreciate that. They are very nice. Thank you for the support.
Yes. Oh. Maybe we could put
yeah.
a t-shirt on Sullivan for the next.
There you go. And the thing that she pulls out of her robes is this.
Ew. Cool.
What?
It is a large ornate key.
That's the key to my pad.
Got a little Spanish. But
I was good.
We're going to Cutter's house.
it's a dank pad.
This whole quest has been to get you guys to come hang with me.
I just want to have friends.
Yeah, it's no friend.
Yeah,
Cutter and
An
the quest for
elaborate ploy.
friends.
I've been playing the long game, guys.
2-year long game.
Yeah. It worked.
That's funny when this is all over. You're like, so what do you guys want to do now that we're, we saved the Empire? You want to come over to? No, sorry, Cutter.
Sorry, Cutter, you stink.
You want to come over? Oh, we bonded.
Funny.
Oh, nice, Amerison. He's gonna eat you all. It's true.
Right? Yeah, he's having us for dinner.
Just another reason to get mummified.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Too good.
I was given this key and some information that you might find helpful.
Information is always good.
This key will allow me to open a portal from the nearest Shadow Road to a designated area within the underworld. As for the information, I have a story for you. Just over 100 years ago, the ghoul Tondaril the Bonebreaker consolidated power by wiping out all of the independent ghoul lords and unifying the ghouls below the surface. He became the first emperor of the Ghoul Imperium. One of the ghoul lords Emperor Tondaril was said to have slain was Nerosen, the last king. My benefactor's research suggests Nerosen wasn't slain and is in hiding, waiting for an opportunity to destabilize the Imperium. There are many in the Empire who remain loyal to him and who'd like to see him return to power. Though not the most desirable of associates, he might be a useful ally if you plan to infiltrate the Imperium.
Nerosen.
Narosain.
Oh,
The last king. He was said to be closely associated with insects. If he survived his assassination, then large concentrations of the creatures might be a lead to his location. Beyond that, I do not know.
This location in the underworld. Could you be more specific?
The Ghoul Imperium has powerful arcanists. The closest my benefactor is able to get you to the Empire without their notice is a place known as the Pillars of the Underworld. Southwest of the Pillars is the Kobold city of Lillithor. It may be a good idea to start your quest there.
How do you spell that city?
Lillithor, Lillefor. Lillithor.
Lillithor.
Cool.
Okay.
If we emerge at Pillars, will we see Lillithor, or do we just? I've never been underground before. How we find bubbles?
No, you must find your way from the Pillars to the city of Lillithor. It is to the southwest. It is quite some distance, but it is the closest thing. It is the closest place of civilization within the underworld to the Pillars.
I don't think Beatum has a ton of knowledge about the underworld or the Ghoul Imperium necessarily.
Only one of you would really have any knowledge of the underworld.
Kind of
to
have
make
somebody
up.
from there.
He's not the best talker, so I haven't had the best luck at getting all of it. Yeah, he doesn't. Oh, you don't have a tongue.
Well, I can't speak anyway.
Yeah.
So tell me, my lady, when we reach the Pillars, will we need to have a ghoulish appearance when we enter Lillithor, or else suffer some wrath of ghoul-aligned kobolds?
Lillithor is a kobold city, but it is still within the sway of the Empire. You will find some there that support the Empire and some that do not. But as a city, it is ruled by the Empire.
So it is best while we are in the underworld to assume a ghoulish appearance.
That's basically what I'm trying to figure out. When we go down there, do we need to be ghouls the entire time? Because there is a logistical issue with the 24 hours and how often we do that.
I would think that would be best.
So the city of the
I'm
surface,
nodding the whole time.
Kobold cities, yes? That goes down.
Lillithor.
No, the city itself is deep within the Empire. It is underground.
Oh.
Yes.
Kelvin, would we have a few days here so that I may help the rest of us regenerate missing parts? We had quite an interesting few days, but
Some of you do look a bit worse for wear.
yes, I understand that you do not know how preparations for a wedding are going, but do you think we have a few days to stay here, fill up on camel meat for Qatar, perhaps get his tongue back, get Sylvester's pinky back? Yes.
At most, I can give you 3 days, and then I must make my way back to.
3 is more than enough. Any idea where our host is? The owner of this home?
Lady Hijati has left.
No
She's
idea of
gone.
the whereabouts.
If I knew, I certainly wouldn't tell you, Sylvester.
Okay, why is that?
Did this woman slight you, Sylvester? Is that why
No.
you are so interested?
I owe her an apology for the way I acted last time we were here.
I have seen your apologies before, my friend. That is rich.
Unfortunately, I was not told. I was simply given the message, given the book, and told to pass it to you.
So we're in her
So we may stay here at Hijati's palace?
You may not, and neither may I. This is simply the meeting place we knew you would come back to.
But we're in her drawing room, yes?
You're basically in like a large, like receiving area, like a lounge almost,
Okay.
like a solo area.
I'm looking around. I get up and start walking around. Can I find anything, letters from her or anything she's written?
So you're basically in a seating area that's been curtained off. All that's in there is carpet and giant pillows and things like that. It's not like an office or anything. This is where she receives people to have conversations with them. Selvin being where Hijati is usually at, and you guys all just on pillows in this enclosed area now.
So then, if we spend 3 days here, where do you recommend is a place where we can perhaps experiment with preparations before we go to Underworld?
I am not from Suala. It took you here, and I came back to it. If you would
Well,
like to make...
We still have our hotel rooms at the Camel with mini humps.
6, I believe.
Six humps.
Where should we meet you, Sylvan?
I thought you said mini.
That's what I
Mini
said.
humps.
Mini
Are you taking the full 3 days?
I look at Dariana. What did you cut off, Dariana?
Cut.
I do want to remind you, the ritual takes place at the next moon. The sooner you get moving, the better.
I'm only missing a pinky. I'll be fine. You need one more day, probably for kata, but. And yeah, what is Diana? What are you missing?
Toe, I believe.
Oh, okay, only. So you didn't cut off. Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. It feels okay.
It's just a little pinky toe. A
So I
flat.
believe
You're
that
like me.
while we travel, I will.
We've fallen further and further behind. I do say we get kata back to normal and then we go.
I like
tomorrow, then.
One day's rest will be fine.
Yeah.
Peter, do you believe we should attempt to use the embalmer's paste?
We can experiment tonight, Victor, if you feel up for it.
I think this will give us better chance to accomplish this mission. That's what you call it, Cutter? The mission is all that matters.
I roll my eyes behind my mask.
Victor's like jealous that he has eyes.
Oh, you got to do yourself too.
It's okay.
Then meet me tomorrow evening at this time where you exited the Shadow Road. That small park.
Will do, my lady. Thank you for the information and for these gifts.
And with that, she stands up and she pulls the cloak tied around her and she opens the curtain and makes her way out. And after she leaves, there's a little murmur of conversation, and servants kind of enter the room and start to draw the curtains. And you get the sense that they're wrapping up and awaiting your departure.
I ask one of them really quickly. I'm like, I'm so sorry to bother you, but do you have any parchment I can borrow? I'd like to leave a note for your mistress.
I believe we can spare a piece of parchment, yes.
Actually, I need a couple pieces if you don't mind.
I believe we have 1 or 2 pieces that we could spare.
Okay, thank you.
And she brings back 2 small pieces of the parchment.
Okay, on one of them, I write a quick apology for the last time I was here. I was rude and I took my frustrations out on you. and that was uncalled for. Thank you. Have a good day. And I roll that up, hand that to them, but I keep the other one and I leave.
Okay.
I wish you had your tongue.
I thought you were gonna put a rune of exploding on the other one.
Oh.
No.
I'm
If
curious.
I had that, I would.
I had never noticed before. Do you have similar markings to Selvin? I noticed on her clothing and her shield. But it does not look like Anu Akma.
Who?
Selvin.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to Qatar.
Oh.
Cutter who can't talk back.
Yeah.
No tongue.
And I just kind of mentioned. I'm kind of looking at his garb, I guess, to see like if he kind of syncs up, because it does seem like she's got something.
Don't dig too deep into
Okay.
the picture.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Peter, you were saying.
Lots of rewrites.
What do we need for our expedition into the underworld? I still have provisions from when we left the Duchy of Morgau, but not the Duchy of Morgau. When we left Morgau.
It's the Greater Duchy of Marga.
So we left the kingdom, our home. Shit. It would be good to provision ourselves. Is there a store, a bazaar, something here?
Have you all left?
Yeah,
I think we're leaving her house, right? We're gonna head back to the.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are walking out. You're very, very aware that there's just the whole place is half a bazaar. You came into it when you left the Shadow
Right.
Road. Remember, you were in a.
Beedham is going to take the time
You were
to
in this kind of space here.
nice
Yeah, nice.
to buy a large amount of hardtack. So like iron provisions, basically food that will last a while. He is concerned that when he gets into territory controlled by ghouls and the undead, that regular food might be difficult to come by, especially while they're pretending to be ghouls.
Okay. Yeah. It's not hard to really outfit yourselves if you'd like. This place has everything. It comes down to basically just bartering. If you're willing to pay the coin, you can get anything you want. If you'd like to lower the expenses, why don't you roll me one persuasion check to just have your general, how well did you do bartering for all of this? And I will say everything is a barter.
I am not going to barter anything. I'm everything that I ask for. I'm like, Sylvester, make them lower the price on this. Sylvester, help me. Sylvester, this merchant is an ass.
And I do
Roll
that.
roll me a persuasion check.
My pleasure.
So 14.
Ooh, that's a rough persuasion.
You do okay. There's a couple exchanges where you knock a couple
Two.
coins. So. What's a 2?
His
Well.
base roll was a 2.
Yeah.
Oh, and he got an 11. Yeah.
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 And-
So you do okay. Yeah. One or two of the places you get a couple coins knocked off. Just mark off like four gold. And you can 5 gold, and you can outfit yourselves pretty much as what you like. Hardtack. If you want to get more rope, you want to get whatever. Just let me know what you get
And
roughly.
Spell.
I think it's the
Materials.
spell materials. Which
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that might be a little bit more. We'll just say you
So-
buy material components. So unless there is something, so as far as your spells go, henceforth,
might
if
need a little
anything
bit more.
has a specific value that's more than like 10 gold, or a specific value in general, for a spell you want to use, I want you to have that. If it's just like a twig and a stick and a copper wire, like I don't care. But if it's like I need a 300 gold diamond, you either need to buy a diamond or just spend 300 gold and have that. So yeah, anything that's of ridiculous value that would make the spell difficult for you to cast multiple times.
I'm assuming Seawall is somewhere where we could convert those kyanite crystals into more usable.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. And while we were shopping, the whole reason my persuasion was not good is I'm trying to keep an eye open for anybody, and I let Cutter know too. I'm looking for somebody that's a member of the Thieves Guild, the local guild.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look around and see if I spot anybody.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
I roll too because I'm looking. Or can he have advantage or one of the two? Or do you want us
I
both to roll?
probably don't need advantage.
I probably don't need advantage.
Yeah, I just rolled the 2. That's what I thought with my persuasion. I'm like, I'm good on persuasion.
There's no
I
tongue
spot
getting
all
into it.
these thieves. There's one. You do, in fact, you spot thieves fucking everywhere. You just pick up on certain mannerisms.
Big orgy of thieves?
It's just orgies on orgies. It's just thieves all day. But slipping through this crowd, I mean, it is jam-packed. And you see, you know what to look for. And you see basically anyone under the age of 12 is just pickpocketing everything they run past. You see a number of people in alleyways. Thieves' cant is relatively universal. As you throw a couple signs and a couple mannerisms out, you get some signals back. It's like kind of reading a different dialect with the same language. Like you understand most of what they're saying, and you get the sense that they are aware of you and know that you are now aware of them, kind of thing. So if there is someone, if you want to make contact, you easily could.
Okay. So if I find one that seems suitable, I'm gonna nod to Sylvester, nod him over, and
what is your requirements for suitability of thief?
So I would say, because I need somebody that can, and I would have told this to Cutter, I need somebody who can make a deal.
So someone good with words.
Well, and maybe a little higher up.
Cutter.
I don't want a pickpocket. I don't want a 12-year-old.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, it's not what you said before.
And that didn't get into it.
I'm changing.
And by that, I mean when you paid those children to find Delia.
Folks.
That's what I mean.
Right. Well,
so you basically you want someone who looks not like base level. You want someone that's just a little bit higher up in the stuff.
Yeah, not like a shitty back alley thief. Yeah.
Right. You get the sense that that's not someone you're gonna find on the street. You're gonna need to make contact, and work your way up the chain to find that. You know that it's all just a giant Ponzi scheme, and the people with actual power never put themselves out. So. If you want to take the time for that, that's not necessarily a quick and easy task.
So it's kind of like, though, I mean, I come from a big city with the Cloven Nine and so forth. They always have a base of operation.
Yeah.
I would think that would be fairly easy to figure out where, maybe not everybody knows. May not say, but. No.
Gotcha. So what you want to find is the base of operations for one of the thieves guilds.
Yeah. And actually, in my dealings with the Cloven Nine, they're pretty big. Do they have any reach out here or no?
You've never heard of the Cloven Nine really being outside of Zovek. You know that the history of the Cloven Nine is based on kind of the way the city of Zovek itself runs.
Right.
They kind of started a bunch of kind of spoiled rich kids. That after
reaching too, they have deals. I mean, they have deals in
yeah.
Morgal.
But the Cloven Nine kind of started as a bunch of kind of like, hey, let's be Satanists, kind of, ha 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 ha. And then the Thieves Guild kind of shredded them, and they were like, oh shit, now we have to get serious and come back 10 times harder and kind of like Kaiser Sose this thing. And then kind of revamped their entire organization, became like the bloodthirsty thing that they are. So they're very Zobek based. They do have reach. You've never heard of them reaching as far as Seawall, considering this is, again, like 2,500 miles and on like an almost separate continent from the road. So you wouldn't be aware of that. I would say if you want to take the time to try to work your way to a higher up the Thieves Guild, that would be an entire endeavor that you would need to undergo if that's what you're trying to do.
Okay. Well, actually, so ideas that I had, I need a copy of Hajadi's writing. Now, as a grave binder, is that something that would be in a library? If I just go to a library or city hall, would she have writings there? Or, I mean, she's been here for a long time. I'm just kind of running through ideas of where I can get it. The book she gave us, I mean, that's a family book they've had for generations. Are there notes in it or just...
There don't appear to be any notes in it. I would say if you really wanted to get a hold of her writing, there's some probably in her house. There is some probably in the Hall of the Gravebinders. They actually have like an organizational space.
I leave them. I go to the Hall of Gravebinders.
Okay,
That's
so
exactly
you are
right.
on the way to the Hall of Gravebinders. The rest of you, what are you all staying together? Are you making? What are you doing?
Victor's like on that shopping spree with Beatum, and he's just holding
Gotcha.
a bunch of spell components and some
Shopping episode. So Beatum's just kind of like stomping through, and Victor's just like packed with bags and stuff,
Correct.
like trailing after him. Cool.
and
Cool,
occasionally
cool.
like
And,
throws Beatum up on his shoulder for old time's sake.
Gotcha. And Daryana, what are
I'll
you?
be with them.
Okay, just trailing, buying. Gotcha. Cutter.
Yeah, because I was disappointed to not find anything to eat in the tomb. I'm gonna look for something to eat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Any kind of
and
meat,
it's,
whatever.
At this point, though, as you guys are shopping, you're shopping pretty quickly, and night is falling. Some of the stalls are closing up. Some are staying open. A different set of stalls are kind of opening. You're finding much more food, much more drink, much more things like that. But the bazaar itself kind of like half empties out as night falls. So as Sylvester is making his way towards the Hall of the Gravebinders and night is falling as you guys continue to kind of shop and take in Seawall before you head out to the Pillars of the Underworld, that's where we're going to call it for tonight.
Excellent.
So, transition episodes are always hard. You never know how far you guys are going to go and how much you're going to mess around getting there. So, thank you, everybody.
She wasn't there, and I've got revenge to enact.
Yeah. She was very, very aware of who you are and how you were being, and took the very smart decision to have a little vacation.
It wasn't that smart because she obviously doesn't know me because I never just kill you.
Yeah.
Not my
Hey,
MO.
we'll see.
Tell Janelle and Tracy that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you did.
Sorry, guys.
You did.
My bad.
So Jason,
Yes.
tell me about tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, what did we
Whoa,
get?
1 second. I'm sorry. 1 second. Amerisun.
Thank you.
Whoa, boom.
Bring everyone to 2,400
What?
bits. That's some tig old biddies, my friend. Let me update all of this stuff.
I think most of those are for me.
Yeah, he said we are, I'm sure he did the math. Basically, he's saying everyone's blesses up to 10. So that's Matt. This is, and is that math correct? Because it's 1,500. Did you?
Yeah, that's not right.
Did you do the math as 150 bits per bless, Amerisun?
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Yep, math is all good. Amerisun, you are the fucking man. Thank you so much. So Jess is now at 10. Jason is now at 10. Andy is now at, dang, you are way down
Yep.
at 10.
How I killed myself.
And that is. And Eric
Nice job,
was
by the
way
way.
down as well. And you are at 10. So everyone's at 10 blesses. We got a bunch of shields. We got one red card on the board.
Awesome.
We got one blue card on the board. Yes. Can we drop some blesses in the chat, please? Just fill it all with blesses. Amerison, you're the man. Thank you so much for all your support. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate that.
I'm so excited to get those stickers.
Oh yeah. Don't buy bulk because they're being weird. Buy one and let me know how it looks.
Okay. I
and
will.
Then we'll,
absolutely.
And then I'll buy. Actually, don't buy them at all. I'll just don't.
Already
us.
on the way.
We already saw him buy them on stream.
If you guys want stuff, let me know because we buy our own stuff at cost. You're just paying yourself. It makes no sense.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I like supporting.
Anyway, Amerison, thank you so much, Jason.
Speaking of Amerison, he is the cultist who still has a scroll, a power to use. So don't think I didn't forget about that. Because tomorrow night we are playing Afterbirth, which is the Merkborg Murder Dungeon continuation part 2. We ended with a fantastic TPK, courtesy of the MVP cultist L2, who just completely destroyed the entire party. But that was thanks to Andy, who donated that, I believe. So yeah, we're going to continue that. See if they actually finish it. See if they run out of all their lives. I believe Ryan has the fewest, right? You have 4 lives left. 4 left, yep. So that's what's happening tomorrow. There is much more to explore.
I'm pretty excited about that because it'll be the first one of the first one. I've got one half of it live, but this one.
Just remember, last time we were telling you, like, roll power.
I know.
I think
I'd come in like towards like the last 20 minutes of it. Tomorrow I'm there the whole thing. Tomorrow's gonna be good. And I got
and cultists in the chat. One other thing, we talked it over. We made a little rules adjustment. So the way it's gonna work is when you guys cast a power, it is normally a difficulty rating of 12. So if you fail, the next time the difficulty rating goes down to 10. If you fail that, 8, and so on until someone succeeds. That's when the next power happens, right? So if
and it's not for you specifically, you don't have to win twice. It's the next you drop the DC for the next person who wins. Yeah.
Because you guys are you're in it for each other. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be brutal. I love all the tokens that are all over the map already. It's great. And don't forget, you guys.
There's a lot going on.
All of the items you die with are on your corpses, so.
Oh, I've run back and got my sword like twice, I think. I'm just going straight for that spine hinder or whatever we got.
Yeah, Ducky actually got a really cool sword, so we'll find out what that is.
Yeah. So go check out Ducky, wonderful streamer. He's going to be on our game tomorrow. Janelle, Sissa22 is going to be in the game tomorrow. Myself, Jess will be there as well. I will try to have all the stuff actually in the appropriate places tomorrow so you can redeem all those things correctly. Jason will be running it with Foundry by McGlintlock. Catch us next week for the players heading into the Pillars of the Underworld. Sunday, potentially maybe a paint stream with Evil Andy, and Monday for our next episode of Theros.
Yep. I've been striking out these Sundays, but I've got some fun things planned, like some characters from Dark Kingdom. I am working on a piece for a painting competition at one of our local gaming stores.
Gonna win it.
We'll see if I can get it finished. I should have some cool stuff. And then Theros, hopefully we'll have a tomb or a temple exploration or a nighttime soiree. We'll see.
What time's the painting Sunday?
1:30 to 2:30.
Oh, we need to make some adjustments to the time. Thanks.
Yeah.
So, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. Amerisan,
Great.
once again, thank you. Catch us next week, same time. Catch us tomorrow for Afterbirth, the Merkborg Murder Dungeon. Catch us for Theros. And when the paint stream goes again, that's 3 nights a week and 1 afternoon you can catch us. So tell your friends. We are 5 followers away from hitting 300 and giving away not this shirt, but a sweet Adventure Archive shirt with the design that Amerisan got on his baseball tee tonight. There you go, that Matt's wearing right now. So thank you all so much for being here. Would you guys like to raid into some Out of the Abyss that looks like they have plenty of time to keep playing, or a finale of Curse of Strahd that's been going for quite some time?
Wow.
Oh, Strahd finale.
Well, hold on.
Abyss.
I very rarely see people do Out of the Abyss, so
Yeah.
that's
That's
my
good.
vote.
All right.
Oh, come on.
Who's voting for Ravenloft? Raise your hands. All right, Out of the Abyss it is.
We got shot down.
Here we go. All right, so we are going to be rating Phoenix Wigzaki.
I should have done a
We are
Brazilian.
going to go
voted
to.
twice.
We are going to go to our in screen. We're going to run some credits real quick, and then we're going to rate into them. So once again, thank you all so much, and we will see you next week. And
Thanks,
tomorrow.
everybody. Bye.
Right.